Today, I have something for you that I'm positive a lot of you people thought doesn't exist anymore, and that is actual interest in internet drama that's funny and a thing you can laugh at. I'm pretty sure all of us has realized that basically goofy internet stories doesn't exist anymore. It's something that just flat out died. Most of the time when stuff happens on the internet, it's usually three things. That is one, someone committed a crime. Two, a content creator gets revealed to be a terrible person behind the scenes, and when that ended up happening, all of the people who knew the content creators, like their friends, just pretend that they didn't know they were doing this behind the scenes, and they upload videos or go on stream saying how sad they are, which I just need to talk about. It's crazy how still to this day this tactic works. Like, are people that dumb? Yes, people are that stupid. Like, really? The last time I remember this happening was with this VTuber right here, which I'm probably going to show her on screen. But the exact same thing happened. She got revealed to be terrible, and all her friends were like, no, I didn't know she was doing this. Like, just use your brain for one moment. All these people do is talk about how close they were behind the scenes. Of course, they knew she was doing this nefarious thing behind the scenes. They just didn't say anything about it because they didn't care at the end of the day. And they're probably only talking to that person because they get a lot of views when they do stuff. This applies for like every single content creator and like the quote unquote friends that they have. This should be well known information, but for some weird reason, oh no, how could this be happening? But I know the reason why. The content creator I like is the real one, and everyone else is the fake one. Okay. Or three is just people being racist, which the rise of racism on the internet is just a whole video of itself, so I'm just gonna save that for later. But the fourth type of internet drama, a story that's actually very funny, rarely happens. But today one of them is happening, and it has to do with a reoccurring guest on this channel, and that is being Bungie. Currently right now they are being sued because someone claimed that they stole their work. Now this lawsuit has a lot of twists and turns and some very strange thing happening. So the person who's currently suing Bungie is a writer known as Matu Carlson, and he is suing Bungie for copyright infringement, saying that Bungie ended up taking some of his works and using it so they can make the Curse of Osiris and Red War campaigns. The main thing that he's going at is that Bungie ended up using his work to completely take the Red Legion, like they just yoinked it from him. And that's basically the whole premise of this lawsuit. Now, when a lot of people ended up hearing this, they all thought that this was going to be an easy win for Bungie. They'll just go to court and prove that this guy's just full of baloney, and Destiny is just gonna win, because why would Bungie go and take someone else's idea? But that's something that Bungie's having a hard time doing for two reasons. Reason number one is that currently right now Bungie's absolutely getting destroyed in court because they are unable to prove that they actually made Curse of Osiris or the Red War. And the reason why is because of content vaulting. Now before I can tell you the rest of the story, I'm going to need to go and tell you some Destiny lore. Okay? I'm not doing this to pad runtime. You can ask people who are here for a long time. When I go back and tell backstories, I'm doing it for a reason. I'm padding runtime right now because I said that meaningless sentence. But either way, Bungie does something that's called vaulted content, and it's basically when they take away some content that they don't really see as useful anymore. This isn't really something that's unique to Destiny. A lot of games do this, and I just think this whole idea is very dumb, especially if it's a game where people paid for content. Like, you spend money for expansions just for the developer to take it away because, like, no one is playing it or insert any dumb reason. I hate this practice, but unfortunately it became normalized. And Bungie is just one of the many developers who does this terrible thing. Now, this whole vaulting thing ended up really biting them in the butt because the code that Curse of Osiris and the Red War is made of has been in the Destiny content vault. And that code is so old that they're unable to replicate it. That's because since Destiny is a live service game, they're constantly keep on updating the game, and the engine that they run on is just so different and so advanced that it straight up just cannot run Curse of Osiris and Red War anymore, hence where they cannot prove that they made the stuff. So because of that, Bungie ended up coming up with a very funny idea to prove to the court that they ended up making this game. They had to resort to showing YouTube videos of the game. saying that yes, we made this game. Here's YouTube footage of someone playing the game. The two videos that everyone keeps on talking about that they use is one 10-hour video from a YouTuber named My Name is Bife, and another Let's Play of, and a bunch of Let's Plays, and a bunch of Let's Plays, and a bunch of me being able to speak English, and a bunch of Let's Plays, and all cutscene videos, those videos of those two expansions to basically prove that, look, we made them, we didn't steal it from this guy's completely unique idea, and this is something that's just flat out not working. The court is not accepting this answer at all, and they're kind of just in this point where until they can prove that they actually made it, they're not taking what they're doing as an answer, which is just a very funny thing. That this type of content, this vaulted thing that they're doing is straight up just ruining them, and they're absolutely getting cooked right now in court. And that's basically the situation. That's what's going on. Now, when this ended up coming out, a lot of people are asking one important question. Do you think Bungie ended up stealing the work from this guy? Now, my answer to that question is a real, I don't know. I don't really think this is something that I can answer. And the reason why I say this is because Bungie actually does have a track record of them just doing this, just borrowing someone else's work without their permission. If you have been in the Destiny community, this is something that ended up happening twice, where Bungie ended up taking work from someone else, mainly fans of the game. One ended up being this cutscene and this art piece right here. I swear I talked about this moment so much on this channel, so I'm pretty sure long-term viewers are sick of it. But basically, when Bungie ended up releasing one cutscene for a season, telling the backstory of their main antagonist, the Witness, this art piece that ended up being shown in the cutscene ended up being someone else's work that Bungie just flat out took and put inside the game. This caused one big controversy because obviously they just stole someone else's work, especially a fan from the franchise. And this is something that ended up happening again in the future, where when Bungie ended up releasing, I think, the Nerf Ace of Spades, the design of the gun looked very familiar. It looked familiar because it was also taken from another Destiny fan artist who ended up making this mock-up of the weapon, and Bungie just took it. So the fact that this is something that happened twice, and this is unacceptable. For some weird reason, people try to defend Bungie when this ended up happening, which is dumb. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. There's no excuse for you making mistakes like this, just flat out. Stuff like this should not be happening. So the fact that this is something that ended up happening twice, for me, when it comes to Bungie and someone like accusing them for stealing their work, it's honestly something that's just completely up in the air, because the fact that this happened 2 times already, it wouldn't really be surprising to me if something else that's currently in their game right now is also just stolen from someone else, and maybe they just haven't been caught yet. Allegedly. Everything I said in this video is allegedly. So that's kind of just the situation that Bungie is in right now. I have no idea how this is going to end. Obviously, since this is a legal battle, it's going to take a very long time for us to finally come down to this conclusion. But Bungie found themselves in a very sticky situation, and this is going to be a journey that I'm following, because if Bungie is truly unable to win because they vaulted content, this will change so much things. This will be crazy if Bungie lose their lawsuit. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't think they're going to lose. Even if Bungie did do it, I still don't think they're going to lose. I just have a feeling they're going to find a way to win. But this is quite an interesting situation. Anyway, that's it. My name is Luba. You have a good day or night. See ya.